If you want to see change in your child's eating habits without pressure, constant mealtime battles, or the shame you grew up with, you're in the right place. Welcome to Family in Focus. I'm Dr. Wendy Schofer, the pediatrician helping parents lead meaningful change without harm. Here we focus on the connection and practical shifts that help families thrive at every size. Let's get started. Welcome back. So now we're going to focus on what really happens when diet culture gets to your kid, because we need to be prepared for this. It does get to our children. And by the time that most parents are realizing it, the messages are already there and shaping how your child is thinking about food, about their body, and about themselves. So let's just put the brakes on for the moment and just say this is not a reason to panic. It's really something that we can equip ourselves as parents with the tools to be able to support us and our children. So we're going to create a plan for what to do in those moments to better support you and your child. So today we're going to be going through a number of things to keep an eye out for, but also very specifically 4 things to do. Let's consider what absorbing diet culture can look like for your child. And this isn't always obvious. So consider a few different options here. Maybe it's a child who doesn't want to wear a bathing suit anymore, or shares in a quiet moment that they want a flat tummy or they want to stop growing. Maybe it's, oh man, the 7-year-old who's like going off about good foods and bad foods with so much conviction. And you're like, is this good or is this something of concern? And maybe it's a kid who, seems okay on the surface, but you've noticed that they started skipping meals. Another option is that sometimes kids will start eating everything in sight the moment that the pressure is off and other eyes are not watching. So just trying to see what kind of patterns are you detecting. Sometimes it's the child who heard one comment from one person, whether it's a coach, a friend, a grandparent, a neighbor, someone at the doctor's office, and built a whole story about their body around it. It's amazing. It's so amazing. While it seems like our kids have a really hard time listening to the things that we want them to hear, they are amazingly able to receive subtle comments, to pick up on them and use them often in ways that stick for painful reasons. Let's talk about what doesn't work. The instinct that most parents have, and it comes from a very good place, is to correct the message directly. Saying, you're not fat. You don't need to diet. That's not true what so-and-so said to you. Direct contradiction usually doesn't work with kids who have already internalized something. They've already made it mean something about themselves. This can backfire because now they're defending the belief to you, which makes it stick even more. So another example that is often used is we're not going to talk about diets in this house. And while that can sound like creating a boundary in your house so that diets stay outward, it's creating more of a wall than a bridge to connect with your child about what it is that they are experiencing outside the confines of your house. And just noticing that these messages are, still coming in from everywhere else. You're just removing yourself from the conversation if you're saying that's not what we're talking about here. What does work? Let's break these down one at a time. So number 1, address your own stuff first. And I'm saying this with so much love. This is the step that parents want to skip because we want to do everything for our children and we're kind of like pushing aside the stuff that we're carrying. And that's why it's the most important one. What do you believe about bodies? Specifically about your own, about your weight, about food, about the relationships that you already have. What did you absorb growing up that you're really trying to prevent your child from experiencing? You don't have to be perfect. This is just a moment to have some honesty, first of all, with yourself. And that's being reflected in the conversations with your kids because they're watching how you talk about your own body at least as much as they're listening to the words that you're saying about theirs. Number two, curiosity goes so far. When your child says something that is setting off alarm bells, I'm fat, I can't eat that, so-and-so said my lunch was gross. Get curious before you try to correct their perspective or to correct what happened in the moment. Things that you can say, something as easy as, tell me more about that. What did that feel like? Even where did you hear that? What else? You're not agreeing with what they're saying. You're actually just opening the door to gather more information. And you're also letting them know this is a safe place. Bring whatever is going on. I want to hear more. I want to know more. I want to invite you to share about the experience that you've had. And that means that they'll keep bringing it. So get ready, because this is actually a really good thing for them to continue to come to you bringing these heavy things that they are experiencing. Number three, reflect before you fix. So let's be honest, our reflex is to want to change what we've heard, to argue when your child is saying something so harmful and painful about their own body, to prove to them how they're perfect, to tell the bully where to go, but instead reflect. That sounds hard. People can be so mean. I don't understand why anyone thinks that healthy has a look. This is counterintuitive because we want to fix. But what we're doing here is slowing down and sitting with, exactly where your child is right now, in pain, confused. And it sends a message to them that they don't need to change to be loved. You're going to be there with them through the discomfort, and it's not about fixing that experience. It's working and growing through it. And then number four, get support when you need it. If your child is showing signs of a disordered relationship with food, so restrictions, significant anxiety around eating, thinking about bodies so much that it disrupts their normal life and activities, that's something that's beyond parenting strategies that we're working through here within Family in Focus. Please make an appointment with your physician to discuss further. Trust your gut. You know your kid. So you're in it now for a long game. You can't undo every message that your child has received, not the goal. But what we're really working on is the goal of being the most consistent, trustworthy voice in their life when it comes to their body, their relationships. And let's recognize that this isn't about being louder than diet culture in volume, because diet culture is pounding everywhere. It's more about being louder in the strength of relationship, in creating safety, in, really creating a history of working together. And oftentimes that is built not in volume, but in silence, in listening, in the quiet moments, in connection. It is built slowly and it holds. Very often parents feel like they're not doing anything when they're actually doing the most important thing, creating connection with a child who is struggling. They get to learn in those moments that they don't have to change to be loved and accepted. And that is the healthiest thing that we can do as parents. So if you're finding that you want to make changes at home and your child is resisting the healthy changes that you're trying to make, fighting at the table, refusing new foods, melting down over those new foods, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in the next episode, because resistance is its own thing. So much fun. And once you understand where that resistance is coming from, you've got a very different set of tools to work with. So I'll see you over there next. Now, remember, while I'm a doctor, I am not your doctor. These conversations, they're all for education, not for medical advice. Take what fits, leave what doesn't, and be gentle with yourself, because you are leading the change that you want to see for your whole family.